There's people that wake up every day looking for inspiration, looking for some sort of motivation to continue to build their business or to, pursue their dreams or ultimately find success, find happiness. They're constantly searching for inspiration. If you're one of those people, I would recommend that you stop searching for inspiration. Stop searching for motivation. If you find it, great. If it happens, cool. But instead of spending all your time looking for inspiration and motivation, start using your time to develop discipline. Because folks, inspiration and motivation, it doesn't last. Discipline does. So develop discipline. Start implementing and using and developing discipline, and you won't need inspiration and you won't need motivation to succeed. The good news is once you develop that discipline, you become your own inspiration. You become your own motivation. Momentum is a great motivator. But let me tell you something. I would highly recommend that people stop looking for inspiration and start looking to develop discipline. That's a life hack, bro, Ham. That's a life hack. You want a life hack? Stop looking for inspiration and start developing discipline. That's what you got to get done, son. Now go on out there and get her done. Today, folks, July 26th, is All or Nothing Day. So today, apparently, we are supposed to celebrate and or contemplate going all in on our marriages, going all in on our relationships, going all in on our businesses, going all in on our health, our family, our fitness, our faith. Go all in and celebrate today on the All In or Nothing Day. It's All or Nothing Day. I don't even know what All or Nothing Day is, okay? But I know that I give it my all every day. See, this is one of those damn days that shouldn't be just one day. All or nothing day? Every day is all or nothing day. That's how you get ahead. That's how you accelerate. You don't celebrate all or nothing day on July 26th as they suggest that you do. You celebrate all or nothing every day, folks. Every day. Go all in. Become all or nothing in everything that you do and everything that you pursue, and I guarantee you, your life is going to elevate and it's going to become 10 times better. Even though today is all or nothing day, make every day all or nothing day. That's all or nothing. Today, if you didn't know, is National Parents Day. What does that mean to me? Well, a lot of you out there have children, which make you parents technically, but you're not necessarily helping your children, you're not grooming your children, you're not guiding your children. You don't want to groom your children, I suppose, but you know what I mean. In other words, even though it's National Parents Day, not all parents are great parents. So instead of celebrating that you're a parent because you had a child, I would use National Parents Day to kind of do a self-reflection to see if you're actually, in your mind, in your opinion, if you're a good parent. If you're a good parent, enjoy the day because it's National Parents Day. If you have room to improve as a parent, I would just let this day remind you to improve and develop and get better. Try harder. Just because you've screwed up for the last 20 years doesn't mean you can't start over and become a great parent starting now. So again, I hope you guys that are great parents have a great National Parents Day. And for those of you that recognize that you're not that great of a parent, I hope that you take this day and reflect and become one. You know, one thing I'll tell you, I don't care if I was 20 years old or 90 years old, if someone asked me, what about business of any kind, which one should they start, which one should they invest in? Folks, listen, any business that has something to do with solving people's problems. Why? Because people don't buy products and services, man, they buy solutions. So what business is the best business to get into? The problem-solving business. Start learning to solve problems. Start tackling problems immediately when you see them and stop avoiding them for so long because they just tend to get bigger. Don't worry about anything else other than becoming really good at solving problems. Once you become really good at solving problems, you start a business because that's what a business is. Well, the reason you shouldn't discount your services is because at the end of the day, the cheaper isn't always the better. If someone asked me, should I discount my services or not? My answer would be, do not discount your services, increase your value. So pick the number that you want, hold to that number, and if it doesn't work, you need to start providing more value so you can have your value meet the number. Because if you think about it, when a sale gets made, it boils down to raising the value of your product or service beyond the value of their money. So I wouldn't sit there and lower my price and lower my price and lower my price, because that's going to get people to kind of believe that your product or service isn't really worth what you were asking. It makes them not trust you. So I would stick to the pricing that you made up, because pricing is generally made up. So I would stick to your pricing, and I would just raise the value, add more to it. In other words, I wouldn't lower my price. I would give them more value to justify my price. That's what I would do. I wouldn't lower my price. I would raise the value to justify it. That's what you should do. All right, people, listen up. If you're in your 20s, I'm going to teach you one trick. The one trick that has saved me more money than any other freaking trick I've ever learned in my entire life. And by the way, it'll work even if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, but it is perfect for people in their 20s. Why? Because people in their 20s haven't learned, they haven't had enough experience to realize that money can slip away fairly easily. So the best way to save your money in your 20s, hands down, is to not get access to your money. Do not allow access to your money. In other words, if you're going to get a check for $2,000, arrange for some automated chunk to just never come your way. Like, in other words, if your greedy little hands can never get on it, that's the best way to save it. Otherwise, you might blow it. And let me tell you something, I've seen people save money, they have it in their own accounts, and the next thing you know, there's some sort of reason that pops up that forces them to use it. I say, hey, how you doing on your savings? Oh, my car blew up, I had to buy a new engine, Oh, I got in a car crash and I had to get a new car, Oh, me and my girl broke up, so I had to use it to go get, situated in a new apartment. There's always a reason to spend that money when you're trying to save it. So when you're 20 years old, not much experience, what I would do is not even touch it, not even get access to it. Arrange for half the money or whatever percentage of that money to go directly into your savings account or go directly into an investment that you can't touch. So the best way to save your money in your 20s is don't touch it. That is the number one, hands down, best way to save money. Don't touch it. Don't allow yourself access to it. Get it gone before you even get it. Well, again, if the question is what's more important, school or experience, I don't understand why there can't be an option of both. If I had to choose school or experience, that doesn't make any sense. Why? Well, because school is an experience. So what you're really saying is a school experience or experience that doesn't include school. Well, again, I think you would be deprived if you didn't have a school experience. I think everyone should go to school and pay attention and build relationships and build networks. They're not necessarily going to school for the education. I think education nowadays is at the snap of a finger. You can log into a course, you can access things on the internet, you have AI, so you really don't need the education as much as people thought. I would say that you go to school for the experience. And while you're there, build a lot of relationships, hopefully that will last a lifetime. Create a network of resources and just enjoy the experience. So someone was gonna have to ask me the question, what do you mean, school or experience? Because I think what they're trying to get me to talk about is it smarter to go to school and learn about something or go out and do something? And in that case, it's you need to go out and do something. You will learn by doing a lot of times better than you will by learning in a classroom. So most people say school or experience. Well, I would highly suggest you take experience. School's not going to get you anything but a little bit of practical knowledge and understanding. Now, in some cases, the school is a great experience. I highly recommend it. Go get the relationships, go get the network, maybe find a spouse, fall in love, party, have fun. But definitely I would promote and encourage school for the experience. But if I had to pick between school and experience, I would pick experience. Why? Well, because experience is school. See what I'm saying? Like, that's an awkward question because school is an experience, and believe it or not, experience is school. So that question is just posed wrong into my mind. Why? School or experience? Why can't you do both? Depending on your age, of course. If you're 29 years old, school's out of the question. You're done. Quit going back to college to learn something unless you want to do something that requires a degree. You can go to school to get the experience of school and get the education that you're going to receive, but I don't think it's going to be more valuable than the experience. Well, because school is an experience and experience is school.
My financial advice that I give to everybody is I spend half of my money like I'm going to live 50 more years and half of my money like I'm going to live 50 more days. Because you know what? I might only live 50 more days. You don't fucking know. No one knows. And life is very, very short. So I think if you put all your money in the bank, saving for a rainy day, you might die with millions of dollars in the bank. Never ever having been that guy who, had a Ferrari or had a Lamborghini, even though you've had the money. You didn't squeeze all the juice out of the lemon of life.
I would agree. I would agree wholeheartedly. Because who wants to die not having, but had the potential or the ability? Like, how would you like to die with $7 million in the bank and you didn't get to drive the Ferrari you wanted or the car you wanted? You didn't get to live in the house you wanted. You didn't feel good about yourself every time you woke up. You didn't hire the masseuse to be full-time and the chef, and you didn't do all those things because you were worried about money so much that you saved it and kept it and did not use it and enjoy it. And then you die because he said one thing that's 100% fact. We don't know when we're gonna die. It could be tomorrow. So I wholeheartly agree with my man Tristan. Spend a little, have fun. 50-50, is that a good ratio? Depends how much money you have. If you have $500 to your name, 50% splurge and 50% invest. Hey, it's pretty good. Again, I might say, depending on the level that you're at, if you only have $500, I wouldn't be splurging on anything. I would only go 50-50 once I have something. Until then, I wouldn't go 50-50. I wouldn't be splurging and running around, buying things. I'd probably consider maybe 20% to reward yourself and splurge. 80% invest. Why? Because again, before you have anything, you might want to think about putting just a little more towards the investment so it builds faster and compounds quicker to where now eventually you can change that 20 and go to 50. Make sense? So Tristan can do 50-50. He probably has a ton of money. He's got ability to make way more money. 50-50 is, probably good for Tristan or Andrew or, a guy with a little more money. I wouldn't recommend 50-50 if you're just getting started. If you're just getting started, I would recommend maybe 80-20, but I would definitely recommend enjoying yourself a little bit because again, we don't know how long things are gonna last. We don't know if we're gonna make it another 50 years. How would you like to have died with every dime invested or every dime in the bank and you didn't get a chance to have, that night out or that vacation or that experience that you could have had? Because life is to create experiences. You just so happen to need money to do it at a high level. So I agree with Tristan. If you got a bunch of money, 50-50 is a great ratio. If you don't have a bunch of money, I would suggest you scale it back to 80-20. Working as an intern gives you experience. It doesn't necessarily pay you the money, but it does give you the experience. So if you're going to be an intern for any company or organization or individual, if you're going to intern, which generally means lower a portion of pay that you would normally get if you actually had the job. You're just an intern. Understand that the knowledge that you're learning, the experience that you're gaining, oftentimes is worth more than the pay you would have received. So as an intern, you want to go in there knowing that your compensation is based on how much experience you draw from the place. So ask a lot of questions. Pay attention to the operations. Pay attention to the systems. And extrapolate all of the value of that internship you can. Don't go in there and mess around and jerk around and have fun because you're already getting no pay. Go in there knowing full well that the exchange for you being an intern is the knowledge, the experience, and the relationships. But anyway, just so you know, today's National Intern Day. So for all you interns that are smart enough to go gain knowledge and experiences and relationship, enjoy your day. International Self-Care Day, again, is just another stupid holiday that somebody made up so you can go out and celebrate something or buy something. It's consumerism at its finest. However, since somebody made it International Self-Care Day, I propose and now proclaim every day as International Self-Care Day because we need to take better care of ourselves on a regular basis, especially if we love those that are out there in the world truly. We do love them and respect them and want the best for them. Well, the best version of you is how you show them that love and respect. So start making every day International Self-Care Day. Quit shitting on yourself. Quit hammering yourself. Quit getting drunk. Quit blacking out. Quit smoking weed. Quit sitting around playing video games, hoping and dreaming. Instead of freaking looking for inspiration, try developing discipline. But whatever you do, understand this. The best way to show love and respect to those you love and respect is to take care of yourself. So from now on, forget July 24th as International Self-Care Day and start recognizing that day every day. You want to know how I deal with jealous friends? The first thing I do is try and communicate and talk to them. The second thing I do is share the spotlight, let them in, welcome them in, give them some attention, give them some of the shine and some of the light that's making them jealous. So I would communicate what's making them jealous, and then I would share whatever it is they're jealous of so they can feel included and they can feel good about themselves. Now again, this doesn't apply to everything, depends on why they're jealous, but in most cases, if your friends are jealous of you, let them in, include them, share with them, then they wouldn't be so jealous. But I would highly recommend you kind of take a look at who your friends are, because if your friends are jealous of you, that kind of indicates that they're not necessarily your friend. Why? Well, because they don't want the best for you. Like, why would I be jealous of you? I would be happy for you. I would be excited for you. I would, really encourage good things to happen. So, like, you'll never catch me being a jealous friend, because I don't think friends are jealous, ever. What are they jealous of? Now, again, they might, wish they were in your shoes. That's okay. But jealous isn't an emotion that I want in my friends. Because to me, jealousy is a negative emotion. Jealousy means like, I want that, and they shouldn't have that. That's why I disqualify a jealous person as a friend. So when you say, how do you deal with jealous friends? Number one, I realize they're not necessarily a friend. If they're a really good friend or a loved one and they're jealous, I want to communicate with them and then perhaps share with them so they're not so jealous. Start including them so they're not so jealous. But in most cases, if you were to ask me, how do I deal with a jealous friend? I don't think you can be a friend and be jealous. So I don't deal with jealous friends, I eliminate them. I mean, if someone told me, now that I know what I know, Brad, would you rather start a business or buy one? My answer is probably buy one. I probably would buy business instead of start one. Because when you start one, everything's from scratch, everything's brand new. When you buy one, things are already in operations, there's already systems, there's already processes. Hopefully there's already profitability, there's already people in place, there's already teams, there's already networks, there's already relationships, there's already customers, there's already history. If I had to pick between starting one and buying one, I would probably buy one now. But if there's a lot of people out there not able to buy a business, even though you can find businesses that people are wanting to exit and you can basically get them to finance it. And so theoretically everyone can buy a business, but a lot of people won't wrap their heads around how to do that for nothing. Like, in other words, if you have no money right now, you theoretically could go buy a business by having the current owner finance the opportunity. Why would they finance it? Well, because maybe they want to get away. All I'm saying is there's some creative financing available if you want to buy a business with no money, but the majority of people with no money are never going to buy a business. So in that case, it's better to start one. See, there's always these questions, which is better? Well, again, sometimes there's no answer. Why? Well, because for some people, it's better to start a business. They don't have any money, they don't have any relationships, they can't arrange the purchase. And then there's some people that have a little more resources, they have a little more wherewithal, they should probably buy a business rather than start one. I mean, if my plan was to go start a dry cleaning company, and there's already a dry cleaning company out there with routes and revenue and customers and reputation, sometimes it's a lot easier just to buy it and then improve it or change it or modify it and scale it. But then again, does it have a bad reputation? Are you wasting your time? Is it unsalvageable? Who knows? There's a lot of different factors. It boils down to a question like, should I start a business or buy one? Depends on who you are. Depends on the situation. There's never a cut or dry answer to these things. I think what people are looking for by asking me that question is it easier to start one or easier to buy one? Well, it's easier to buy one. There's systems, processes, things exist. But again, in some cases, it's not easier to buy one because the damage has been done. The ship is sinking. The business is broken and it can't be fixed due to reputation, etc. In that case, you're probably better off starting. All right, let's talk about ladies. Everybody wants to know about the ladies. Everybody wants to know, how do you treat the ladies? How do you get the ladies? How do you care for the ladies. What about the ladies? What do you want to know about the ladies as a young man? It's like, you know, the best way to get a girlfriend, in my opinion, is through referrals. The best way to get a girlfriend right now is through referrals. A lot of people will go on Tinder because it's easy. A lot of people will do a lot of things because it's easy, and that's the problem. Easy isn't always the best way. In fact, a lot of times it's the opposite. The hard way is the best way in a lot of cases. But at the end of the day, the best way to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend is through referrals. Why? Well, because hopefully the people that know you the best are the best ones to know if you're a fit. You know, it's kind of like back in the old days where there was eHarmony, where you could fill out a form and the eHarmony thing would tell you if you're a match or not. Now, you know, I think the best way to get a girlfriend, hands down, the best way to get a girlfriend right now is a referral. What would guys want to know in your 20s that you want to know about girls?
I know everything I need to know about girls at this age.
No, but you really don't, because you seem sour on girls.
They're all the same.
See, they're all the same. They're not all the same. Women are not all the same, dude. You're buying into some narrative that women are all the same. They're all this, they're all that, they're all sluts, they're all money-hungry bitches. They're all dirty gold diggers. They're not all that way, bro. There are some, and you need to be cautious of those. But they're not all that way, dude. There are actual women out there that are what you call rare finds. You know, there are some very classy, respectable ladies in the world. And yes, there are some hookers and hoes. But at the end of the day, they're not all hookers and hoes. They're not all dirty bitches. And the fact that you believe that is probably giving off an error, which is why you're only attracting those. So you better stop believing that there's no good women left, because otherwise, what's your choice? Like, dude, you got to change that attitude, man. Start realizing there is someone out there for you. There is someone respectable out there. And that goes for the ladies too. A lot of these ladies are sitting there, you know, there ain't no good men left. All the good men are taken. Quit believing that, dude. There's a lot of single men still left in the world. The problem is, you know, they're looking for someone classy. They're looking for someone respectable. They're looking for someone that fits their needs, man. In other words, like nowadays, a lot of women don't want to be a traditional woman. And then so now guys are like, well, they're all bitches, they're all sluts, they're all gold diggers. Not true. And then a lot of women think, well, all these guys are players and hoes and sluts, and, you know, guys, you know, just want to do this. That's not true. There's some good dudes out there as well. There are guaranteed good women out there. There's guaranteed good men out there. Your attitude is what's stopping you from seeing them. Figure out who you want, visualize exactly what you want, and start introducing yourself to more people. The reason you think everyone's a bitch is because you're not meeting enough people. The reason you think every guy's a player is because you're not meeting enough people. Because there are good dudes out there and there are good chicks out there, I promise you that. The question is why aren't you meeting them? Well, with an attitude like that, wouldn't matter if you did. You're probably not gonna get them. Change your attitude, folks. If you want a good woman, change your attitude. You want a good man, change your attitude. What I would recommend somebody has before they go out and look for somebody is self-respect, self-worth. In other words, put yourself in a position where you love yourself, and then you don't need anybody to love you because you love yourself. You don't need anybody to spend time with you because you don't mind spending time with yourself. It's called self-worth. I would recommend anybody go and develop their self-worth, work on themselves, get in a position where you love yourself. Because if you love yourself, you don't need everybody else's love. That allows you to be a little more protected. Because again, if you love yourself, you're not so worried about them loving you. You're not looking and seeking validation in somebody else. You already have validation for yourself. In other words, like, you become a better catch. So if someone were to say, what would you recommend I do before I go dating people? I would recommend you date yourself. I would recommend that you start to love yourself and really get familiar with who you are and what you want, and then go find somebody so now you'll know exactly what you're looking for. Too many people, they don't do that. They go out and find someone to validate themselves. They get in arguments, they fight, they bicker, they break up, they go through 3 or 4 people. You know, there's feelings hurt, there, you know, possibly kids involved. I wouldn't recommend that, man. I would recommend don't go get anybody until you go get yourself first. Get yourself in the situation you want to be in. Get yourself in a situation. People, what situation? Do I need a bunch of money? How much money? Look, that all depends. That's all variable. What doesn't depend is that you need to go get yourself in a situation where you don't seek outside validation. You're not looking for validation. You're looking for enhancement. You're looking for someone to share your life with. You're looking for someone to have experiences with, but you're in a better, situation or position. You're in a better position when you don't really care so much. See, there's a lot of guys out there running around trying to find a girlfriend because they're lonely. Why are they lonely? Well, they don't like spending time with themselves. Why? Because they don't value themselves. They can't keep themselves busy. They have no ambition. They have no discipline, So they run around looking for girlfriends to try and fill that void, to fill that hole. I would recommend you don't do that. I would recommend you go figure out who you are, get to a point where you can spend all the alone time you want and it doesn't bother you being alone. Get in a situation where you validate yourself, because now your stock goes up. You're more valuable to the individual. You also know what you really and truly are looking for. So go learn who you are before you start running around to every bar. Go learn who you are before you approach the bar. That's my advice. Learn who you are before you head to the bar. Save you a lot of brain damage, save you a lot of headache, and more than likely, an STD or two.